You join the channel here over at Subscribestar. So Star Wars continues its Luciferian decline. Surely that's hyperbole. Honestly, I don't know if it is. So they've got a bunch of streaming shows on Disney Plus that you're never gonna watch. They bombed with they did the Disney trilogy in 2015, and then that underperformed, and then Solo came out and actually lost money. People were like, "Oh, we're just done with Star Wars." They pretty much lost the audience, and then Mando came out, and you started to get the audience back, getting buzz and good chatter around any kind of show. Like She-Hulk came out, that had bad chatter, or The Witcher, or Rings of Power, or a bunch of those kind of shows that came out. There's bad chatter and there's good chatter, and Mando started to get some positive chatter, and it wasn't a brilliant show. It's just you looked at it and it goes, this kind of looks like 77 Star Wars, and Boba Fett was a favorite character, and it is gritty and dirty, and it had a bunch of it started to fit, and it kind of looked like, oh, it looks like a departure from Disney's, Soylent Star Wars, where you got like two lesbians riding horses in space and kissing in the background, though not for China or the Middle East because they edit that out. So Mando was a little bit of to build a fire, but I think Jack London, I hope by Jack London, where you see you're trying to just like blow a little bit of air, get this thing going. It's like they let it go out because they fired Gina Carano. Like, people kind of like Gina Carano, and you fired like the face of the character that most people liked on the show over nothing. And it's like, yes, to the Disney people it was something, but to us it was nothing. So then people just decided to check out Mando, and just a lot of people finally said they're kind of done with Disney. And then they're doing all the Florida stuff, and they're grooming kids, and they're sacrificing the souls of children to Moloch or something like that. I mean, that's how it's coming across. Correct me if I'm wrong. So they had a bunch of these Disney Plus streaming shows that came and went. Boba Fett had a show, Mando, Andor, Obi-Wan, The Acolyte, and I think there was one more floating around out there. And I remember the interview with the Andor guys who were surprised. Like, they seemed like well-meaning but a little bit naive people. They said, "Oh, we're doing a Disney Star Wars show. We thought like we'd have a built-in audience." And you look at them like, "Do you understand how much goodwill Disney has destroyed over the past 10 years?" And I don't think they had a clue, because they thought Andor Star Wars. They go, "This is the best Star Wars that nobody's watching." Well, I watched a few episodes of Andor Star Wars. The whole vibe was, oh, the English people are so bad. The English leadership is so evil. And they had they had a blonde chick who's just like straight out of Aryan casting. I mean, it was just so on the nose, it's touching the brain. And there's these two blonde leaders. And it's like, come on, oh, the English Empire. Hey, how well did that work out for Black Adam? What are you talking about? Oh, it bombed, didn't it? In case you haven't seen Black Adam, they're somewhere off in the sandy warm place, and for some reason, it doesn't say that they're from the nation of a European nation, or they're from the United Nations. There's just these fair-skinned guys with English accents, and for some reason, they're the colonizers and the oppressors or something. You're like, so where are they? Are they from a specific country? Or are they from the United Nations? How does this making sense? They're like, oh, all the brown people are good and the English people are all bad. So how well did that work out? Because in that warm sandy place overseas, it's actually a different tale. It's actually there's actually bad people from that area, like very bad people, the worst of the worst people. How did that work out for Black Adam? Well, it didn't work out because it bombed. But again, like these companies, Disney is not about money, and once you really get that, it kind of forces you the rest of the way down the rabbit hole, because there's no sense it's staying at one level of the rabbit hole. You're like, I'm safe here, but you look below, you're like, yeah, but there's a lot further to go, and you just have to go through it and get the other side. So wait a minute, if these companies are not really about money, publicly traded, articles of corporation, all that like corporate stuff 101, if they're not about money, it's religion, it's ideology. They're about something much, much different than money. Have money. The people at the top, they have money. They're financially insulated. They're fine. They're using that money to push a very different message. Anyway, so people are kind of done with the Disney streaming shows because they don't look like Disney streaming shows. How dare you say that? That's so Istophobic. Disney, it looks like a diversity checklist of Frankfurt School propaganda. I want Disney to look like the original Disney trilogy. And they look at you like you're wearing Hugo Boss and you're marching around in boots and saluting. It's like, so, I mean, that was only in 1977. It wasn't that long ago. So to say you want the thing that carries the same name to look like the same show, to have the same vibe, when I'm looking at it now, it looks like you threw a net in downtown LA and you just grabbed in whoever to be cast in the roles. It's Like that wasn't what the original Star Wars was looked like. You're saying that this is, oh, it's the same. It has the same name, so this is the same. But it's different in every way, shape, or form. This just feels like a diversity checklist. It's United Colors of Bennington approach. It doesn't feel. Hugo Boss says what? Yeah, I get that. But if you couldn't straw man and deflect in ad hominem, but I did straw man for breakfast this morning. You get the idea. It's like they really don't have a counter argument to a lot of this kind of stuff. Anyway, so Disney throws away their old audience and they chase this Pox BLT audience. But, unfortunately for Disney, they never seem to materialize. And they've done this for comics, obviously, and for movies and streaming shows and a bunch of other things where you've got, who is it, Leslie Headland or Alonzo, the other one, where she said that famous line about, if we don't put all this poxwalks, diversity, furry, otherkin stuff in shows, we're leaving money on the table. And their argument is essentially that if we open up the audience, we're bringing, as Brie Larson says, we're bringing more seats to the table. But are you maintaining that's the basic question. Are you maintaining the old audience and you're gaining new audiences? Are you doing that? That's the question. That's the primary gatekeeping question. Are you keeping the old audience? And the answer is no. You're seeking a new audience that you're mostly not getting, but you're alienating the old audience. Oh, well, they're all istophobic anyway. Yeah, but this is a business. It's like you don't know who they are. You have no idea their motivations. It's just ones and zeros to you. You don't know any of this thing other than the only thing that matters is the money that people are paying for your shows. So you lost the old audience to seek a new audience and it never materialized. Well, we purified the audience. That's not how businesses work. That's how cults work. That's how religions work. And that's what I'm trying to say is these $1 billion, it seems so inconceivable for people to look at these $1 billion businesses and think, oh, they really are like temples to Moloch. This really is a religion. Like these people, these billionaires will really do crazy, crazy things. Like this isn't some TV show business where you think, oh, they're just, seeking a return on investment. Everything's acting like a logical human computer program. That's how you would act. You're projecting your own normalcy on these insane people. The people at Disney are not doing that. Yes, they're a publicly traded company, I think, but they're not acting according to their articles like they should. I'm sure the Securities and Exchange Commission will start cracking down on them any minute now. It's a religion. A religion will do whatever it needs to do to further its dogma, and that's what you're seeing with Disney, Netflix, Amazon, and a lot of other these companies. I know how tinfoil hat it sounds, yes, but you can hear me. You know I'm not crazy. You know that there's something going on here. It's a religion. Just because it's $1 billion, the Catholic Church. Well, this religion is twice the size of any Christian religion or any religion on earth. It's this religion of Hollywood. They're pushing this Bolshevik belief system. Anyway, so the whole thing about losing the old audience to try to gain a new audience was pointless. And Star Wars, John Trent, he has the best title. They continue to promote vile, destructive gender ideology, casts a man pretending to be a woman in the Acolyte. Oliver Thorne, who's I guess a guy in real life. I mean, by that he's not like playing a woman in real life. I mean, he's just a guy. Like I'm not mislabeling his pronouns or whatever. But he plays a trans role in Star Wars, which is kind of weird. So I'm sure that'll work out well for them. So he's like the first Star Wars transgender actor in a non-minor role. And I mean, this is like, doesn't that feel like you're just checking a diversity checklist? Like, yeah, that's what it feels like, probably because it's what like, is any of this real? No. So The Acolyte, a show that you're never going to watch, obviously, though I'll watch a few episodes to see what it's all about, previously cast self-described non-binary actress Amanda Stenberg as one of the main characters in the show. So where we are is like you have just a cute Hollywood girl who doesn't have enough attention, so she needs to, like, I'm a cute, skinny Hollywood girl who's starting off in Hollywood and doing pretty well, so I need just that little bit extra attention. Oh, I know what I'll say. I'm like non-binary or something. So not only do I check the checklist of POC, WOC, but I also check the BLT, checklist of being non-binary. It's like, oh, okay, great. You just like, so we're preferentially going to hire you over anyone else because you meet all these checklists. It's like, so it's just like all this is fake. Like all these checklists are fake, right? Yeah, pretty much. Human sex is a binary. It's fair enough. It's not XX, XY. I know a lot of people say that, but it's that's an oversimplification. It's mostly true, But there are many variations on that theme. But the thing is, it's still a sexual binary because the outliers don't define the bell curve. In some species, there are true hermaphrodites that are capable of changing sex and breeding true, but that hasn't happened in humans yet, and I think you're going to be waiting 100 million years for that. Anyway, so gender is derived from the sexual binary, and there are only two. I know that's hate speech nowadays, and in a few years, it'll probably get me locked up. But for a woman to say she's not within the binary system is a nonsense statement, and the only reason she's saying it is so that she can check a box. So Disney can cast a cute little sun woman who checks the Pox Walks box, but also checks the BLT box, except not in any way that matters. It's like, yeah, I can say I'm a Zur, Otherkin, Furry, Two-Spirit, whatever, but it doesn't, like, how does that affect your life in any way? Nothing, it's just a qualifier. It's just a prefix, modifying word that gets me a little dopamine from virtue signaling. And the thing is, to be fair to the BLT people, and no, I'm not about to get soft here, though I know nobody in the BLT community is listening, is you do have to distinguish between people who live their life according to their beliefs. They dress the part like they're fully invested in it. It's a part of who they legitimately are. Where if I say that I'm trans, but I continue to dress like John Fetterman or Kevin Smith with like shorts and a sweatshirt, whenever possible. It's like you walking the dog in summer, winter, whatever, and you're always wearing shorts and a sweatshirt. It's just in wintertime, there's like 4 sweatshirts piled on top of each other to go dog walking. Yeah, it's the John Fetterman, Kevin Smith school of fashion. But if I say I'm trans or something, but I never actually change anything, I don't put on any lipstick or whatever. It's like, isn't it meaningless? Yes, it's okay to say that some of this stuff is meaningless. Man, whoever designed Darth Vader, what a great costume that was. You made something iconic, and when you made it, maybe you thought it was a little bit hokey or something, but holy cow, you really knocked it out of the park. I mean, the thing is with all those kind of like meaningless modifiers is that like you can say it, you can use it to get to check a diversity checklist, but it's like it doesn't actually do anything. If I say I identify as a whatever, I mean I identify as an Irish Asian trans lesbian woman. It's like, but like, are you those things really? What do you mean? If I say I'm those things, and I am those things, but that's not how reality works. I mean, that's how make believe works. That's how imagination works. I mean, it's like something you can cast aside when it's no longer cool. Like some college chick who's going through a bi phase, and it's like, so you like kissed a girl in college? Yeah. I'm so experimental and edgy. Now I'm gonna go be a soccer mom. Like, okay, all right, whatever. If it makes you feel better. I mean, all this stuff is just it's really hard to watch them break their arm patting themselves on the back over things that don't matter. Like all this stuff matters because they say it matters, but you look at all the other issues going on and you're like, this is all just first world like Weimar problems, right? I mean, everyone's kind of waiting for the Civil War, and when there's like more serious issues, all this stuff kind of vanishes, It's like, does the second and third world and the fourth world, do they deal with all this kind of stuff? Is it like just and real and valid over with those countries? Not so much. War-torn areas, are they worried about their pronouns? It's like, what did Zach say years ago? It's because, a lot of these people need a war, kind of settle them out. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys all next episode.